It's a great shot on goal. It could be there. There it is. Wow. There it is.
Great shot.
Enjoys the snap. Back to pass. Pressure coming. Unloads it. Caught at the 15 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Darien.
Fay checks out.
Saved by Escamilla.
And a great look, great effort by Lindsay Bennett.
Trying to get an aerial there.
There it is. Yes.
The Darien Athletic Foundation is proud to present high school field hockey tonight from Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School. It's the quarterfinals of the Class L state tournament. 5th-seeded Darien versus the 4th-seeded Norwalk Bears. Hi, everybody. I'm Damian Andrews. So glad you could be with us for this DAF media broadcast. Joining me tonight is Kari Johns, the Darien JV field hockey coach, and former Norwalk field hockey star, class of 2010, Amanda Otero. Ladies, welcome. And so this is the third meeting between these two teams this season. Norwalk won the regular season matchup here at Testa Field, and then Darien beat the Bears in the semifinals of the FCAC tournament. Of course, Darien went on to win the conference tournament this season. So their third matchup, kind of the rubber matchup, and the stakes pretty high, a trip to the state semifinals on the line for this one.
Yeah, a trip to Disney World would be better right now with this weather, but we'll take a trip to the semifinals.
We'll get to the weather in just a moment. It is cold, as Kari was alluding to. But, Amanda, this is a big game for your alma mater, the Norwalk Bears. Head coach Kyle Seberg has done a terrific job with this program. A lot of parity in the FCAC this season. They earned a 4 seed in the state tournament, have a chance at home to beat Darien for a second time this year, and as I mentioned, a trip to the state semifinals on the line. So just talk a little bit about this program and what has made him such a successful coach in his tenure here at Norwalk.
Well, he has a lot of passion for the game, but he also has a lot of passion for the girls. From his freshman team all the way up to his varsity team, he puts a lot of time, leaves his family life at home to be with these girls, so it should be a good matchup.
Kari, you alluded to it just moments ago. It is cold out here. We are up in the warm booth, 32 degrees outside. That's probably not even including the wind chill factor. It is windy out there. How much of a factor could weather play? Or once you're out there, it doesn't really matter?
No, it matters. You know, it's very hard to hit the ball when it's cold, especially if you're not doing it actively. It vibrates on the hands, and it's a pretty tough game. And out there, the wind is so rough that it's pulling you one way or the other. So I think with the wind chill, we're definitely in the 20s. It's definitely going to be a factor. But I this is what the fun part about being in the state kind of playoffs are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Weather this time of year, you never know what you're going to get in the Northeast. And as I mentioned, the third time these two teams are meeting. The first matchup was October 10th here at Testa Field, regular season encounter. Norwalk beat Darien 2-1, big win for the Bears. And then they met again October 30th. Darien shut out Norwalk 4-0 in the FCAC semifinals. And here we go again in the Class L state quarterfinals. Norwalk will be in the white, Darien in the black. Norwalk will be moving from left to right on your screen. Norwalk from left to right on your screen. Darien from right to left on your screen. And we are just about to get started here. Norwalk, the 5 seed, or the 4 seed, Darien, the 5 seed, and we are underway here at Testa Field.
So Darien has a pass back option. You see they brought it back to the right and then sending it through the center, Katie Elders, and trying to make some touches. So Katie Elders and Bridget Mahoney are, once again, 2 players you're going to hear quite a bit in this match. They hold the center down, which is where most of the balls go through. And as you can see, trying to work that ball on that right side, it looks like Shea Vanderbrook, if I can get my eyes right. Now, they didn't have anything on that right side. Norwalk did a pretty good job shutting it down. So Darien does what they do well and transferring the ball all the way across to the left side of the field now.
Darien, of course, coming off a 6-0 win over Hall in the first round of the state tournament. 6 different players scored in that game, Kari John. So a well-balanced offensive output, and the defense was just lights out.
Yeah, it was a good game. The other thing is that we were able to get every player in the match, so it wasn't even our first string that were able to come to that result. It was every player contributed. Hannah Regal, actually one of our defenders, usually plays sweeper, scored a goal. So it was a good match for the girls to come off of and kind of get prepared. It's always a good win, confidence builder going into a game like this. You see Darien having that ball on that right side, trying to pull the ball, but not able to come away with it. So Norwalk has a nice quick start, trying to get through the center, but there's a nice stick on it from Darien, and now sending that ball up to the right wing.
One thing Darien does so well is move the ball, switching fields from right to left, which I think makes it really hard for the Norwalk girls to keep up.
Yeah, so we try to, obviously anytime you can pull the team to one side and then switch, same thing as the goalkeeper when you're trying to score inside the circle, you get her to one side and then pull her over. Now Darien was just able to earn a corner through a foot of one of the Norwalk players. Her stick was down, but it rolled up on her body. So this is Darien's first opportunity. And
so a penalty corner here for the Blue Wave, their first penalty corner of the evening. Kiki Tropsa.
This is key 2 minutes into the match to get this corner, and if they can put this in. And it'll also be a great confidence builder for Norwalk if they can get this out the first 2 minutes.
To Bridget Mahoney.
It's a mistrap, just see if they can adjust, and they do, but Bridget doesn't come back for that ball. But she gets a good touch on it, see if she can get a shot off, and she does. And defense right there, ready to stop it. I believe that was number 12.
16, that's
Jacqueline Mirabile. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember saying that name quite a bit. She did a great job clearing that ball out.
Jacqueline Mirabile and her sister named to the All-FCAC first team.
It's a great ball.
Frances Mirabile, Jackie Mirabile.
It's a great ball trying to switch field on Norwalk's part to get that ball over. We always love those balls over from the left to the right offensively. And that ball I don't think did exactly what Carrie Blatney intended for it to do, but fortunately for Darien, it hit a Norwalk foot when she was receiving. That ball was pretty much right into the Norwalk player, so that was not a great ball.
And to give our viewers any indication, you can see all the headbands and the earmuffs.
Oh, so cold.
On the players on the field. It is cold out there.
It's just bitter. The wind hits you, and your body can stay warm, and that's fine, but the hands and the face, it's so cold. Looks like Kendall Wadzinski might be in the game over on that right. I see not running. Looks like there's a little limp there, but she just tried to cross the ball over. There's a great aerial 3D ball right there. And really good speed on Norwalk taking it down the left side. But a great takeaway from Darien, able to now counterattack, and that was off the defensive stick, so Darien gets another opportunity.
We are just underway here in this one, about 4 minutes in. No score between Darien and Norwalk. FCAC rivals meeting up in the state tournament, Class L, trip to the state semifinals on the line.
Everyone's moving the ball pretty nice. They're trying to get it through the center and switch fields. That was a great defensive move. And great touch there.
Number 7, Lauren Deering.
Yeah, she had a great touch there. Yep, and she's right there again. So,
Amanda, this is a relatively young Norwalk Bears team. Some of the names you'll be hearing tonight are underclassmen. Just goes to show you the growth of this program.
Yeah, Seaburg always works on rebuilding the program each year and never focusing on just the upperclassmen.
Erica Blaze with the save, and Blaze, as we have mentioned, has played well down the stretch of this season, has really been lights out in the postseason, Kari.
Yeah, that was a great save. That was a really just kind of a miscommunication on defense right there. So Erica's really did a great job getting that ball out because that was an opportunity for Norwalk absolutely to get in there. You see some great work there by Kiki Tropsa. She is so strong on that left side. I mean, she did amazing work in the FCAC finals. You know, Bridget Mahoney got player of the game. Kiki was a very close second in that match. It's a good ball, Trump finding the hole, but Darien right there to block that up in the center, and then a few stick obstructions, but I think they're, that's a,
Kiki Tropsa with a couple of goals
in
that FCAC championship win over Wilton.
She played phenomenal. She was so strong and so speedy. And again, we had mentioned that we were, you know, missing a key player in Kendall Wazinski. So everyone really stepped it up, and it was needed. It was a great first touch.
Kendall Wazinski had a hamstring injury, suffered in the FCAC semifinals.
Yeah, pretty brutal injury because that's a muscle that doesn't heal well. It's such a large muscle in the backside of the leg that doesn't get a lot of conditioning. So when it tears, it's a hard repair. But she's going to be back very shortly. Here's Norwalk taking the ball down and finding in the center, but there's a front stick tackle unsuccessful, and was that Tessa again?
Yep, Tessa Albright.
Yeah,
that's
such a good player.
Adriana Alfisi.
Yep. Yeah, that was a great shot. Erica's angle was slightly off. It did go wide of the cage. It looks like the Darien defense has got to get back just a little bit quicker because when Norwalk has gotten the ball a few times inside the circle, they've been very threatening.
Adriana Alfisi, the sophomore, with the shot on goal last time down for the Bears.
It's a great ball out wide. But Norwalk, I think it looks like, you know, in our two meetings, obviously you get to know each other's style, and Darien does like to send that ball up the right side because you see they're clogging that up quite a bit. They have 3 to 4 players on that right side. So
you saw both of those games,
yes.
the previous matchups.
Yes.
What was the difference between the regular season matchup here at Testa and the semifinal matchup at Brian McMahon High School?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I think there were 2 major missed calls by the umpire in the first match and I hate to always say that, but I think there were 2 major missed calls that kind of turned over a win. There was a penalty stroke that was called against that actually, if you look at the film, wasn't a penalty stroke. And then there was a penalty stroke not awarded to us when a foul was a girl, I think it was Kiki going to cage, and she was really tripped right from behind. It was Kendall, actually. So that could have made the difference in the game. That being said, there were other opportunities. But I just think it was just, you know, nothing kind of went in the favor. And as you saw in the FCAC, I think that was more of the game that Darien played, and it just seemed to come out a little bit better.
Norwalk's defense clears it out.
Great job.
We mentioned the offensive output in the first round win over the Hall Warriors. 6 different Darien players scored as they have an opportunity here in the circle. Molly Hellman.
That was a great touch by Molly. But you see, Norwalk is doing so good. They're all packed inside the circle, ready to defend. They're just really holding it tight in there, and they're going to make it really difficult for Darien to get that opportunity again to get in there and score.
As you mentioned before, Damien, I think that one thing that Norwalk needed to work on from when they saw Darien in the FCX was their defense struggled getting back with the speed of Darien, and I think that's something that they've adjusted to.
Yeah, they've done a great job adjusting. You can see them right in there ready for anything that comes inside the circle. And a great counterattack, I might add. So when they get this ball going the opposite direction, they're really effective as well.
Here's Darien on the move again.
That's a nice ball.
That's a great ball.
Sydney Schrenker trying to track that down, rolls across the end line. So it'll be Norwalk's possession. I mentioned the offensive output in that 6-0 win over Hall in the first round. Wazinski, Schwartzman, Hellman, Schrenker, Elders, and Hannah Regal all scoring goals in that game.
Yeah, you know, when we look
talk about getting everybody involved.
When you look down this list, I had said it before, you know, someone asked, what is the success of your team? I said, well, we have 10, you know, full field players and a goalkeeper, all of which the level of play is just, and our second string out of the bench, the level of play does not go down 1 ounce with any player that touches the ball. So it's a good formula for success.
And the winner of this game gets the winner of the Enfield-Ludlow game, which will be played tomorrow. In fact, Ludlow head coach Joe Scarupa in the booth tonight, checking out this one. Enfield, the top seed. Ludlow, the 9 seed in the Class L tournament. But as we know, in the state playoffs, seedings don't really always mean a whole lot.
Yeah, we were just discussing it. As of right now, the other 2 teams that are currently going to be progressing to the semifinals are both Greenwich and Staples. So depending on the outcome of either one of these games, it could be all 4 FCAC teams in the state semifinals, which I think is a true testament of how strong the FCAC is. We noticed that there wasn't one team that really had a monopoly on the season this year. Everyone had some wins and unfortunate losses, but it was any given day. It was anybody's match.
Yeah, there's always great competition in the FCAC.
So Norwalk attacking pretty well here, and they're inside their offensive 25, which is a great opportunity for them. Darien able to get this ball just out, but not all the way. That's a great move there by Bridget Mahoney. Man, a great stop by number 6.
Victoria Chiapano.
Yeah, that was great. She just had her stick down.
You guys brought up the strength of the FCAC. Kari, you and I have talked about this in the past. Amanda, sometimes winning the FCAC is like winning a state title. It's such a competitive conference.
It is. It definitely is.
And as I mentioned at the outset, we've seen a lot more parity. It's not just the usual suspects anymore in the FCAC. Ludlow, Norwalk, Staples, all have built solid programs.
Yeah, you looked on the list from this season and you see some, losses, some wins across the board from teams that you just, have just been successful. Again, depending on the day, depending on who brought it more. There's a lot of teams that just, we talk about this a lot. They play with heart, and sometimes the skill is fantastic, but you get out there, you can compete, and that's part of it. That was a great stop right there by defender.
Number 2, that's Sawyer. That's my sister.
Oh, she did a great job. Good job. I bet you helped her learn all those. Did you play defense as well?
I did not play defense. I was a forward.
So you had to practice against her and her against you.
Yeah.
Kari, Amanda was a goal scorer. She liked to put the ball in the back of the cage.
Fantastic. Nothing like that sound, right?
Under 20 minutes left in the first half here between...
Jackie, nice ball.
That was a great ball.
Nice save.
She was just allowed complete entry into the circle without being stopped from the 25-yard line. Darien's really got to pick it up on defense, or else this is going to,
What I love is the goalie's confidence to come out and save that ball.
This is a first-year senior varsity starter,
She's fantastic.
Erica Blaze, and she has had quite a season.
Yeah.
Her first in goal for the Wave. So a corner opportunity here for the Norwalk Bears, their first of the evening.
I think Norwalk's done a good job creating corners this postseason, but not such a great job executing on them. So hopefully they have a few up their sleeve.
That was a great job. So, I think that was a great adjustment, because as we know in the FCACs, Katie Elders was just a brick wall, and Bridget when they flying out, stopping. So Norwalk just adjusted really well, doing a little move around the fly. So that's a great adjustment. Obviously, have done their homework and are ready to take it too.
Yeah, I think Mo's done a fantastic job on defending their corners, even when you have Francis Mirabili lifting the ball into goal, keeping more defenders back.
Yeah, we just have some really speedy players. Katie Elders, Bridget Mahoney, and there goes Tessa with the great. Yeah, that should be.
That's a nice pass.
That was a great
And a nice
pass.
clear out by the Darien defense.
Oh, who's on post?
You would have been there.
Yeah, I hope.
Who's on post? Right, so it looks like Sally Cassidy's going to be trying to get an opportunity to get this ball out, and she slides it over to Carrie Blatney, who's sending it over to Emily Schwartzman, who's unable to stop it. And Norwalk has been on a decent run here, attacking goal. Now she's just outside the 25-yard line. She could go right in if she wanted to with that ball. Stopped by, it looks like Lily Kulitz is in the match, number 14, playing left attack. Again, missing Kendall Wazinski over there is a little bit of a hole there for Darien, but trying to fill it nicely with Lily Kulitz and Molly Hellman over there on the right side.
Well, you get the feeling, at least early on here, this is going to be a little bit of a defensive struggle
I think for both teams, I mean, Norwalk's been doing a great job defensively. It looks like, Norwalk has been able to penetrate Darien defense quite well so far.
Amanda, obviously, Norwalk lost to Darien in the FCAC tournament, but how valuable was that regular season win in terms of confidence heading into this game?
I think it was big for the girls' confidence. They know that every time they play Darien, it's going to be a key matchup. And I think all too often the games go in Darien's favor. They always have such great talent on their team. I think that they needed to make some adjustments. The speed on Darien's team this year is just incredible. So being able to keep up with them is really going to be a key part in the game.
.42 left in the first half. No score. Norwalk, Darien. Norwalk in the white, moving from left to right. Darien in the black, moving from right to left.
Norwalk have another opportunity offensively to get this ball in, and you can see that was off of a defensive stick. So it's a little miscommunication again on the defense. We're seeing a little bit too often for Darien.
Now, despite the weather, Kari John, it's a pretty decent crowd, and there is a great save by Erica Blaze.
Fantastic save by Erica. Didn't really see what happened on that corner, but it looked like it was a nice little scramble, but it was a great save.
You have number 9 on the right side for Norwalk, sophomore Julia Vaquero, who's really stepped up this year. This is her first year starting for Norwalk, and she's really been a key part in their offense.
Yeah, the good news is that you have a really young team, so you expect quite a few returning players.
Definitely.
That was a great slip, and again, Darien defense, I think, pretty smart in getting that ball out. Not sure exactly what happened there. Again, I didn't quite see the foul.
So another penalty corner for the Norwalk Bears.
So just lining up a little bit differently, shifting positions, but they still have a line of attack, which is uncommon, right on the circle. Looks like there might have been a little confusion where the ball's going. That ball didn't quite exit the circle, so if they do score a goal, it should not count.
Yeah.
It never came out of the circle. The umpire will let that go on, and if there is a goal, it would just be called back.
And a third straight penalty corner for the Norwalk Bears.
They're doing a great job of...
Frances Mirabili, the inserter here. As the Bears continue to apply some pressure here.
You know, that ball definitely came out.
Yeah, to say the least.
All right, so that was just it got into the circle, and it was another shot wide on Norwalk, so Darien's getting a little bit of a break here, and, they really have got to pick it up here. Norwalk is doing a great job attacking. They're not letting up. They obviously can feel the opportunities there for them, and they're taking it. It's a great ball down the right side. Sydney Schrenker here, it looks like, by the run.
Sydney Schrenker on the far sideline.
Yep. She gets a great ball in, and that ball gets ahead. And goalkeeper's probably, that was a great push out by the D, but there's good support there, right, to get it out, and then just a little bit wide again.
Lauren Deering back on defense there. Nice effort from her.
Yeah, we're having quite a few wide shots on both teams. That was Emily Schwartzman, just wide of the cage. It was a good stop by Bridget Mahoney. She's been missing touching the ball here, Katie and Bridget. I think that's kind of what's been missing in this defensive end. It's got to be a little bit more touch on their part since they're the centers. Bridget's so smart with the ball, but Sunset ball should have been a little bit wider. But she's pretty fierce. She always tries to get that ball back.
Amanda, your thoughts here as we're more than halfway through the first half from your alma mater.
I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. But I think Norwalk's done a really good job adjusting back to Darien's speed. Like I said, I was at that FCAC game, and you couldn't take away the talent. My boyfriend is not a big field hockey. He doesn't really watch field hockey or know the rules, but he grew to love Darien after the FCAC game and was just amazed by each one of their talent. So I think Norwalk's doing a great job with keeping up with them, which I think they struggled with in that FCAC game.
They're doing a phenomenal job. Now, the defender just hit that ball over the end line, and that could be considered intentional by the umpire, which it was. So a corner call.
So 4 straight penalty corners in about 3-minute time span
Yeah,
here
Norwalk
for the Norwalk Bears.
They're hungry, they're ready, they want to put this ball in the net, and they are right there every time.
Francis Mirabile, the inserter.
Yep, again, working around the fly, knowing that they need to do a little bit something different than, I think it was 6 straight corners that Katie Elders was able to stop in the FCX. So Norwalk has done a fantastic job adjusting.
Amanda, to your point from a little earlier in the first half, Coach Seaberg, though, has to be disappointed with his penalty corner unit, though. They've been able to draw the penalty corners, haven't really been able to get anything going.
Yeah, they've done a great job creating corners in the FCAC and in this state tournament, but they haven't done a great job on executing on those. So we'll see if they can turn one of these around.
All right, so Darien defense is clearing it outside on the sideline again, and Norwalk having another opportunity to come in. And a lot of this past 10 minutes has been spent in Norwalk's offensive end, so they're really doing a great job of coming in. That ball was able to get by Emily Schwartzman and was not able to be stopped, so it should be a 25-yard hit coming in, long hit. So Norwalk will take this back by the 25, and it's...
Kari, I just want to jump in here quick and thank everybody watching. We have over 60 people watching this live stream right now.
Fantastic.
And another opportunity goes wide of the far post for the Norwalk Bears.
Sticks down. I'm sure that's what Seaberg's yelling right now across the field. Sticks down on the post.
I would think we'd have more than 60 on this cold evening.
So we're under 10 minutes left in the first half between Darien and Norwalk. No score in this state tournament game, Class L. Here's Darien on the move. Kiki
nice
Tropsa.
Oh, that was...
Hellman, the cross to Tropsa.
Yeah, so that was a good breakup by the defense player. I didn't see who that was, but it was a good breakup coming in because that was definitely a 2v1, and she, got in there, but it did hit her body as a result, so Darien's going to end up getting a corner here. Norwalk just calling one other player. You're allowed 4 defensive players and a goalkeeper inside the goal cage on a defensive corner. Offensively, you're allowed as many players as you'd like on the circle. For your boyfriend listening at home.
Yeah. No, he's here. He's here.
He's become a big fan. Tropsa, the inserter.
It's a great insert and a nice slip, and Bridget's going to have a shot and a
that's
goal for Darien.
Tropsa puts in the deflection off the Elders shot. Am I correct on that, Kari Johns? 1-0 Darien at the 8:07 mark of the first half.
I'm not quite sure yet. I'm waiting for you to call. A little glare on this window. I can't see all of the numbers. I just usually know how they run and the headband styles. So that goal was very important for Darien because I do have to say that Norwalk has been controlling the offensive tempo the past 10 minutes.
Kari?
Yes.
Coach Skarupa said you're welcome to open the window if you'd like.
I'd rather wait for someone else to call the goal. Another offensive opportunity going ahead, and that ball might be a little bit too big, but Molly's just so speedy on that side, able to get to it, and hopefully she'll have somebody to tuck it back to. Norwalk again right there. Crossed right across the mouth of the cage, and you can see, again, all of this white inside the circle. So Norwalk, unfortunately that goal happening, trying to say this is not going to happen again. We have a 25-yard coming in. Bridget takes this ball back, and she's going to probably find, a back pass, which is a smart option. That's some great stick work by Sally Cassidy.
Nice pass.
Yeah, good pass inside the circle again, and it unfortunately got a foot. Now Norwalk is so speedy taking that ball out. Unfortunately, there's no one ahead to pass to. But there's Tessa. And if you think anyone's there, she comes up in a second, ready to take the ball. So she, again, is so skilled, so speedy, and just a freshman.
Just a freshman.
While we have a moment here, we're going to take a look at that goal by Darien off the penalty corner. Elders, and then Tropsa deflects it in. So Kiki Tropsa.
And there she is again.
Puts Darien up 1-0. Timeout, 6:44 left in the first half. So we always talk about set pieces, and Darien capitalizes on one here late in the first half to get on the board.
They really needed that because, as I said, I think Norwalk has definitely controlled the offensive tempo in the last 10 minutes. So, I think Darien got a fast break and created an opportunity and was able to take it. And sometimes it's those one opportunities. As you could see, Norwalk had most of the ball possession, but the one opportunity, it could be that kind of game today. But no, I'm telling you, Norwalk is just playing so strong. The adjustments have been fantastic from the FCAC, and this is obviously not over anytime soon.
Yeah, this is not the same Norwalk team that got beat 4-0 in the FCAC semifinals.
No, absolutely not. They made some great adjustments, which is a just a clear indication of the coaching that, you watch film and you look at your opponent, and that's what a smart coach does. Let's make the adjustments. Let's match up with our opponent.
That certainly warms up the Blue Wave players right after that goal, getting on the scoreboard first.
Well, let's hope so. I don't know if there's any warming up out there. It is.
Amanda, what do you think Coach Seberg is telling his players in the huddle right now?
I think he's telling them just to relax and play their game.
Yeah, it's been working for them so far. Defensively, they've done a great job adjusting, packing in the circle. Offensively, on the corners, I can see a complete adjustment. Offensively, taking the balls very quickly. We even saw a 16-yard hit, which is taken at the top of that circle or in line with. Somebody started behind the line. You can actually start that ball at any point in time. And she started by the 10-yard mark and just kept coming up, which can take the opponent by surprise. So,
it's funny hearing Amanda make her last comments there about what she thought Coach Seberg is saying to his players about just take care of your game, take care. That's what Coach Minnick has been preaching since the end of the season, right? I mean, just every time I ask her about her next opponent, it's always, well, we're not really worried about our next opponent. We need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think that FCAC game was a clear indication of how they can play together as a team, and as long as they play like that, there's really not much, opponents have trouble working against it. But you could see the defense is not the same as it was in some of these other games, so that's got to be adjustment, and Norwalk has done a great job offensively.
Yeah, they really have adjusted. I think another thing is their mids have really gotten back to help on defense, which they lacked definitely in the FCAC game.
Yeah, midfield's always a hard position. That's what I play. You got to cover the entire field.
Yep. You got to be up when they're up and back when they're back.
Yeah, and if you're a center midfield, you got to cover side to side as well.
Yep.
Well, that's a great step up, but unable to come away with it. And there's Tessa, who is able to kind of muscle through. It's petite as she is, but she's got some good strength on her. There's a great stop and a ball out wide to Kiki Tropsa, who won't be able to get there, but it's cleared out of the center.
It's great to see Tessa Albrecht, the freshman, out there running around because, as you recall, in the FCAC tournament against Darien, she went down with an injury, came back into the game, hobbled a bit, but it's great to see her back out there at full strength for the Bears. Yeah, it is. We hate to see any players, just like we talked about Kendall, when she went down, it was just, she wasn't even doing anything. It was just kind of a fast break opportunity, and it's just a shame these girls work so hard and then to come postseason to not be able to participate in these games. There's another just little mistrap by Sally Cassidy, but she had good support, and Darien was able to clear that ball. Now you see some communication of marking up your girl. Should be a side in over here with Norwalk. And she's just got to carry this ball 5 yards, which she does a great move, a pull right, and able to get around the defender, and that ball getting through the Darien defense again. Under 5 minutes left now in the first half between Darien and Norwalk.
Yeah, she got that ball right up and over the defender. Great job. Here comes Erica out. Hopefully she did great. That was some great stick work. So Erica just went down on a save, and you saw her defense right there ready to clean her up. That's initially what we're looking for. The goalie makes that first save, and then the defense is there to clean her up. There's a good ball out and then wide. There is a receiver there. It looks like Molly Hellman just did a great move again, sending that ball wide over. And now it's a 3v1, so if Darien can really connect and communicate, good job on the goalkeeper coming out. That should have been a long hit. It went off the goalie, I thought.
Yeah.
Tropsa almost had herself her second goal of the evening.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity that, you have to capitalize on. It's a 3v1. The goalkeeper is there. You have to turn that into a goal in these type of matches. Darien moving the ball well. Norwalk defense right there. Again, you can see the white stepping up. The Bears are just doing a great job shutting everything down inside that circle, even on the fast breaks. It's a good hustle, but just a little bit too much now. Darien, Norwalk Bear is going to take this ball out quickly again, I would imagine. I think that just was a little mishap there. She pulls around the goalie, and then the defender there now again. So I'm not quite sure about that call, but
That should have been a corner.
yeah, I thought so too. Well, we talked to the girls today about, don't. There are things you're not going to be able to control. You're not going to be able to control, the play. You're not going to be able to control the officials. Play your game, as I'm sure you've had to say to yourself many times playing in a match.
Yep.
It's good defense by Kiki, but she finds a foot. Great job of finding a foot, and their third-party obstruction call. Just under 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the first half. Norwalk with offensive possession, but Darien gaining. Katie Elders has this ball, and she's able to, has to bring that ball back to this area of the foul. So Bridget Mahoney taking it. She has a strong unit behind her. It's a little bit of I'm sure that wasn't intended to go up so high.
But to a point Amanda made earlier in this first half, Darien switches field so quickly.
So quickly.
And they're so good at bringing the ball down that right side. I think they clog up. Norwalk usually does a pretty good side on the left side, which is obviously their weak side, defending that ball. But they get caught up. Darien's just so good at passing that ball up the line.
So just under 2 minutes now remaining. Darien just with a 1-0 lead. Very, very small 1-0 lead. Norwalk doing a great job once again, getting the ball back, maintaining possession when they do have it, cutting to the ball. Norwalk doing a great job defensively inside that circle, just not allowing anything in.
Pass to Tess up the left.
There's Albrecht on the far sideline.
Nobody to pass to.
She's so quick. She just gets there before anyone else.
Tessa Albrecht, the freshman, named to the All-FCAC East, All-East FCAC team. And the Mirabile sisters were named to the All-FCAC first team.
We haven't gotten those. We try to leave those till after everything's done. Just the girls sometimes, it doesn't go as planned, as you know. And some schools get, there's some questions in the girls' mind, so we try to leave that news for them until after the FCX.
Yeah.
Probably should release that information after the state tournament.
Yeah, we try not to delve into it until then. Just under 40 seconds remaining. Norwalk with an offensive opportunity here, but there's a good pickup defensively. See if we can maintain control of this ball. And there's a good bit of stick work there. Finds the right pass out, and again connects on the right side with Molly Hellman, who did a nice little spin move there as well. Darien still possession, 22 seconds. Maybe another circle entry in the first half, but Norwalk stops again and has an opportunity here. Still time left to get inside that circle.
The time running out on the first half here, under 10 seconds left as Norwalk is attacking, but that's going to cross the end line, and that will just about do it for this first half. Darien up 1-0 as the first half comes to a close. The Blue Wave up 1-0 on Norwalk in the quarterfinals of the Class L state tournament. We're going to take a short break and be back with second half action. We are back here for the second half of this state tournament game between Darien and Norwalk here at Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School. Damian Andrew, joined by Kari Johns, the JV head coach of the Darien field hockey team, and former Norwalk field hockey star Amanda Otero up in our nice warm booth. Certainly cold down there, and right now Norwalk, or Darien rather, probably feels a little bit warmer because they're up 1-0 here as we open up the second half.
Yeah, as we know, and we've talked about several times, a 1-0 lead is nothing to sit on. That was a mishap by Lindsay Wallach sending that ball. So she came in from behind to try to get that ball back. So there's a stick foul, and you have number 8, Tessa, taking that very quickly, and then number 16 trying to get circle entry again on Norwalk's part. And it's a great stop defensively, clearing it out wide, and both teams just need to, again, find their tempo. Nice little inside pass, no one there to receive it. As you can see, Norwalk really clogging this up pretty well for Darien again.
Darien in the black with the blue socks, Norwalk in the home whites, and the Bears moving from right to left, Darien moving from left to right on your screen. Thanks for joining us on this DAF media broadcast.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit too much on that, not able to control it.
Class L state quarterfinals between Darien and Norwalk. 1-0 Blue Wave up as we are just underway here in the second half.
Norwalk having another opportunity to pull this ball offensively. It's a nice little try, but right there, and that's just a little bit too much on Sydney's pass out to Maui. These need to be little give and go passes. I think they're trying to keep warm and get it moving.
That's nice defense on that ball.
And of course, a trip to the Class L state semifinals on the line this evening between these two teams. One half of the bracket has already been decided. Staples will play Greenwich, an all FCAC semifinal in the Class L state tournament, as Staples head coach Ian Tapsell up here in the booth joining us, along with Fairfield Ludlow head coach Joe Scarupa, whose team plays tomorrow against top-seeded Enfield at Enfield. And once that game is concluded, we will know our state Final Four in Class L field hockey.
You know, it looks like after the half, you know, it's a very short half, but you can see that there's a little bit of missed traps, missed passes. It's just, it's so cold out there. I think both teams are having a little bit of trouble kind of controlling bodies, passes, holding the stick. We saw one hit kind of go awry. As we mentioned, it's really difficult to hit the ball in this weather. Norwalk again taking that ball very quickly. As you can see, they're not really holding anybody up ahead of the ball, ahead of the line of scrimmage with the ball. So they're having a little bit of a harder time creating an offensive opportunity with the defenders packed in on Darien. They're using their speed effectively, having an opportunity with the side in here, and she's got to carry that ball 5 yards, which it didn't quite look like she went 5 yards. I'm not sure why a corner was called.
So a corner opportunity here for the Norwalk Bears with about 4 minutes into the second half.
We have Tess inserting. This is something different.
There's an adjustment. Maybe she's going to look for a tip on the post.
Just switching it up a little
As
here.
you talked about, get on that post, get on that post. So here's Tessa inserting. That was a great insert. Fantastic insert. Ball did come out. A hit and just wide of the cage.
So a golden opportunity there for Norwalk goes awry off the penalty corner.
Yeah,
wide of the far post. Sorry, Kari.
No. I just say I think that was a great. It's another little fall over there. I'm not sure what's happening. Everyone keeps falling down. I don't see any sticks flying, but I see people falling. It was just a great job. As you said, they switched up a little bit, and Tessa had a great insert, so they were able to get that shot off nicely, and Darien successful in stopping it. It's a good job on defense again, but finds a foot, and so now Norwalk's going to have an opportunity to come out of their defensive end, or I think she just changed her mind, and Darien now has the ball.
Yeah, I think both refs are pointing different ways.
Yeah, although it's her circle, I guess she changed. So Darien hitting that ball out. Norwalk having an opportunity on a side in, just in their defensive 25. Let's see if they've been so successful in the first half of getting this ball, but they're not able to. So what Norwalk has done a really good job on Darien is just not allowing them circle entry. And once they are there, they're very quick in getting back in the attack. So it looks like Darien's just going to try to switch this ball. Sally does have an option here with Lindsay Wallach. She's going to find Lindsay. And then you see 3 Norwalk defenders right there ready to get that ball. So they're really applying some good pressure on that switch of fields. It's a very good step up by Bridget Mahoney. Nice little pullback. And she finds Melanie Hellman, who was off a Norwalk 6. So that should be Darien ball.
I'm just thinking about this. If Coach Garupa can take care of business tomorrow against the top seed Enfield, we'll have an all FCAC state Final Four in Class L.
Yeah, we just talked about that. How it's important. I think that not meaning any disrespect to any other teams in the state, but it's really important that the FCAC is recognized for the work that is done down here. All of the teams in the FCAC were very strong this year. You had with the top 8 probably being the strongest in the state, which is why you're going to have something of that result. Coach Group and I talking about feeling very confident that they can knock the number one seed off.
Coach Ian Tapsell and Staples, they beat Cheshire earlier today to advance to the state semifinals after a first-round win over FCAC rival Wilton.
Yeah, that was another good match, and the Greenwich game as well. Sorry, Coach. I have confidence in our FCX.
Nice defensive effort there by Lindsay Wallach.
It's a great move by Molly Hellman again, but you can see she's got 3 to 4 defenders around her, swarming her, and no help offensively. So Darien's going to have to figure out a way to move this ball around the Norwalk defense, who's swarming them kind of like bees, and have an opportunity to get this ball out.
You like that analogy.
I do, because they're
You've
really...
used that on a previous broadcast. I like it.
You know why? Because every practice at Darien High, we had bees every practice. And we were attacked every practice. So actually, this cold weather has gotten rid of that.
So that was literal.
It was literal. That is a great ball for Katie to look up and just find that space.
Shea Vandenbroek.
Yep.
Here on the near sideline.
Yeah, once again, there's 3, you can see 5 defenders really getting in there and making it very difficult. That's a really good opportunity, yeah. And that was a great job on Sydney to force that call. We have Katie Elders with an opportunity now. She is outside the 25, so she can take that ball right inside the circle if she wanted to just take a crack at it. Yeah, I think probably trying to go through 3 Norwalk defenders is not going to be the best option for Darien. I really think they need to try to work this ball in a little bit better. There's just a little bit of a mistrap. And a great step up by Sally Cassidy.
Nice stop.
Yeah, and Molly Hellman cutting back for the ball. And she's so quick. She gets that ball in. She can cross this ball or find a teammate, which was right there. That looked like it was I think I probably would have called a corner there, but... It's going to be a 25-yard, long hit coming in from the 25.
Bridget Mahoney with the ball.
Yeah, and you saw she moved the defense a little bit by turning her body. She's got possession again. Finds just working the ball around. I think this is really smart for Darien. You can see just hitting that ball is so hard. Lindsay Wallach,
Yeah, that was dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, we think, we've talked about the FCAC being so strong over and over and over and over again. And as we see, as we're facing these, some of the teams from upstate, and as Coach Tapsell had a favorable result. Good job in Darien. They're inside the circle. Nice little reverse shot.
Just wide.
Yeah, just wide.
Just wide of the cage, so an opportunity there for the Blue Wave as they continue to attack. 20-38 left in the game.
Yeah, looks like it was off a defender. And then Coach... Allie from Greenwich also having an opportunity to play in outside of the FCAC team and just coming away with a good result. I'm proud of our FCAC teams and what we've been able to do. It's been a really great conference this year. Here's Tessa just so quick on the ball again. She's so crafty with her stick, but that was a great bit of defense right there by Shea Vandenbroek. Pretty patient, expecting the pullback. Norwalk coming in, I expect them to take this ball quickly, which they did, and a nice bit of stick work just to get around 2 defenders, and a great clear by
Nice
Erica
save.
Blaze. There's a good cutback by Sydney Schranker. She's going to find Molly Hellman, who just has a great first touch on that ball. And again, if they can just execute this, we saw a few opportunities where there were 2v1s. You can see Norwalk cutting back, and they've created 4 defensive players back there, which is great.
Elders with the cross there.
And
Rolls across the end line.
just wide and no one able to get there.
Norwalk possession. Under 20 minutes left in the game. 1-0 Darien.
I wouldn't be surprised if these teams said, let's make the ball go as back and forth as much as we can to keep warm. A little scramble down there in the cage. And again, wide.
We've spoke a lot about Erica Blaze in the first half. Darien's outstanding goalie, but Norwalk's got a pretty good goalie in junior Jessica Montero.
Yeah, I was just pointing her out. She's done such a good job.
Yeah, she has played well.
She really stepped up to the plate for these girls too, because she wasn't a goalie before this year. She actually played defense. So this is her first year in pads.
Wow, she's done a great job. Sometimes we find that with the defender, with your, seeing the field, sometimes when you're in there in the cage, it's a great advantage for you. That's a great job
Lily
getting that ball
Larchevic.
away. Yeah, she did a great job. Now Erica's going to decide whether or not to come out of this cage, and she does. She did a great job. And there's the goal.
And that's
for
Lily Darchevic
Yep.
with the goal to even this one at a goal apiece. So the Norwalk offense explodes here at the 18:24 mark of the second half.
Erica made that initial save.
Yeah, she made the initial save. She was a little hesitant. You could see she was almost at the top of the circle. She wasn't sure if she should come out or come down or stay in. I think she made a decision to come out and cut off the angle. That was simply a defensive breakdown. I mean, one player was able to go through, and that's just not acceptable to protect a 1-0 lead. So that, I would say, was something that was given up. And, Darien's going to have to work hard. Norwalk, the Bears are playing phenomenal. That was a great push on her part. Erica made the first save, but she was player.
Lily
was right there and didn't take that initial save as stopping her, and she went right ahead.
Lily
Larchevic.
Larchevic, yes.
Her sister's actually on the sideline. She was brought up. She's a freshman.
Oh, great.
Number 33, Leah Larchevic.
Yes.
Lily Larchevic, a junior, and a fast break goal of sorts there for the Norwalk Bears.
Yep. Yeah, that was just you don't want to have a defensive breakdown like that. It was just very poor defense, I would say.
So things just got a whole lot more interesting in this state quarterfinal matchup between Darien and Norwalk, as the Bears now tie it up at a goal apiece with about 18:21 left in the game.
Yeah, still lots of time. It's been going a little bit, I think, even back and forth here. We saw Norwalk have some great possession in the first half. Darien not able to capitalize on some of the offensive opportunities. Norwalk just packing it in defensively, doing a really good job. I think this would bode well for Darien to take this hit fairly quickly, but again, wasting a lot of time here. And once again, Norwalk kind of packing it in.
Action on the far sideline here.
And they're just so patient with the stick work, which is really important. If your defender goes to make a move, they just really pay attention to that and see what they can do beyond a pull right or pull left, and they've been doing a really good job at that. So Norwalk at the side in. She tries to find the center of the field, but there's Molly Hellman again, pretty speedy. That ball's just way too far ahead. She needs to have better ball control, but maybe she gets ahead of that. That was a pretty big stick tackle from behind. There's some great patience on Molly's part. See if Darien could,
So the Blue Wave draw a penalty corner here at 17:10 left. Big opportunity for Darien to break this 1-1 tie. Of course, Kiki Tropsa will be the inserter, as she seemingly always is on these set pieces.
Yeah, she's done a great job this year. The insert is such an important part of a corner. If that goes badly, your corner becomes off, and it's a good insert. Nice trap, good pass option.
There's
and,
Elders.
Yep, a shot there. And
Tropsa takes a swing at it, and it's a wide of the near post.
Yeah.
She's fantastic on that post, though, watching the ball.
We scored a few times on that corner. It's a pretty set piece. She just needed to close her left shoulder off to the cage a little bit more instead of having it wide open, which is why that ball went wide of the cage. Norwalk?
It's funny. We're playing field hockey out here, but boy, when she is down by that post, she looks like a hockey player,
Yeah.
right? When she
Yep.
takes a swing at that ball.
Yep, that's what we rely on.
Nice pass.
Yeah, it was a great pass and a good step up there. And it's a well-timed pass to Molly Hellman. She should just send that ball right away inside to her teammate. Yep, there's a foot. So Darien going to get a go-ahead here. And here's Shea Vanderbrook. Again, if she could get this ball, I imagine she's going to try to lift this ball up and over. If she had done that straight away, I think she would have been an option. She finds Bridget Mahoney in the center field, passing all the way over to Carrie Blatney. Carrie finding inside again, and then she try to maybe take that ball right away outside. Bridget with a great hit. That must have not felt good.
Yeah, her hands are tingling from that one.
Yeah, it's a great work, but again, not able to keep it right on the stick, but there's some great bit of work there to hold on to the ball. Now, she's got to pull this ball back to the hashes, and then she can start right away. It does have to carry that ball 5 yards. That Norwalk defender was not 5 yards away, so that will result in a penalty corner. That was a great job on Katie Elder's part to draw that corner. 15 minutes remaining. Darien with an offensive corner. This is a crucial opportunity for them to try to put this ball in. And Norwalk opposingly trying to stop the corner.
So under 15 minutes left in this one.
Great insert again. Little bouncy. Yep.
Here's Elders.
Yep. Defense great, able to stop that. Just to have few pass options, and defense is right there. 6 down, ready to go, but another corner called. I think that found a foot. Actually, she's playing the ball on the ground. So
That's a nice job by number 13.
Darien trying a few pass options here. I think they just need to get that shot off a little quicker on the first pass option. Norwalk defense doing a fantastic job of reading what the offense is doing. Another insert by Kiki Trapsa. So that Norwalk defender was out too soon, so she'll get sent back to the 50. So the defender just came in before the ball was sent in, so she's got to go back to the 50, and Norwalk will have to play this corner out. And if there's another corner earned within the same play, she'll have to stay out of the play as well, which means Darien has a little bit more of an opportunity here with only 3 defenders. That looks like it found a foot again.
Corner, yeah.
We're going to take a look at that first penalty corner where Kiki Trapsa nearly scored a goal near the far post.
Now that player needs to come out again because that's the same corner. That ball never came out, so the umpire should be calling the other. I think our speaking captain is telling her that she needs to come back out. It's the same corner, so they're only allowed 3 players.
Great job by our Brendan Ross on that instant replay. And so here we go, another penalty corner here for the Blue Wave. 13-10 left in the game, tied at 1. Darien and Norwalk. Mahoney.
There's Kiki again with that ball, and that found another foot, yeah. So it should be the third corner with
yet another penalty corner.
All right, so Darien looks like they might be trying something different, taking it on the other side. Molly Hellman switching sides. Norwalk making an adjustment in their defense.
There's Trapsa.
Good insert. Sending it
Vandenbroek.
back to the inserter and back up to the stroke mark. Yeah, there's no one there to receive. It looked like a little rushed on Darien's part. It's good defense by number 8, Lindsay Wallach, able to move her feet, but just got caught up there. Norwalk taking that ball right away. And there's Carrie Blatney stepping up, sending it right into the front stick is just causing a few problems here today for the Darien team. Norwalk doing a great job of having their sticks down and anticipating that.
Just not on the post.
Yeah, good ball ahead. I would hate for these girls to have to go into any type of overtime.
Guys,
Although they might stay warm.
While we have a quick moment, I just want to give a shout out to our great production crew, our director Brendan Ross, and our camera operators Camilla Sucre and Jack Roberson. doing a terrific job bringing you all the visuals tonight from Testa Field.
Nice defense, Tess.
Again, that's great defense. She tried to do a little pullback, and that was a great anticipation. Getting that ball ahead, and good defense by Sally Cassidy, getting her feet around that ball, able to get that out. Unfortunately, not finding a teammate, but at least getting the ball out of circle, and Norwalk having an opportunity, a side in to come in. She does have to carry that ball 5 yards, which I'm not quite sure that went, but and Darien doing a good job stopping, and then a ball coming out. She can take that ball from the back line, which she did, so she didn't quite make it up to the 16, but again, we mentioned you can take that ball from anywhere. Working the ball up the left sideline, trying maybe a little bit of a different tactic than the right sideline. Looks like Darien taking a timeout.
So a timeout taken by Darien head coach Mo Minikis. She wants to talk things over. We're at the 10:44 mark of the second half. 10:44 left in the game, and you kind of get the feeling that next goal wins, the way the defenses have played tonight.
It looks like the Norwalk defense is doing a fantastic job of just really getting back, packing it in the circle. It looks, to me, the Darien defense does not look like themselves. I would say that they're playing a little bit more hesitant, not working together as well as they did for the past few wins. So they've just got to make that adjustment. Norwalk is doing a great job adjusting to their offensive game and defensive game. It's been a good match.
Amanda, I'm going to ask you to once again go inside the Norwalk huddle and try to give me an idea of maybe what Coach Seberg is telling his players at this point. Tied at 1, 10:44 left. They've played well here in the second half, obviously got the equalizer, and have played well defensively.
Yeah, I think the offense just needs to keep attacking. They did a good job in that first half, as we saw, with the back-to-back corners creating, although they couldn't execute. So I think he's just telling them, keep attacking on that side of the 50.
Yeah, it's a good game plan. They've been really successful with it so far.
As Kari Johns so eloquently put it in the first half, it's cold out there. It is temps in the 20s tonight here in Norwalk for this Class L state quarterfinal game between the Bears of Norwalk and the Darien Blue Wave. It's the 4 seed against the 5 seed, and we are back underway here from Testa Field. Under 11 minutes left.
Norwalk having a side in on the right side, able to get this ball to a teammate, but Darien defense right there, low and strong. And now having an opportunity on their side as well. It seems like we need to switch this ball a little bit more. It's been on the left side quite often. I would try to maybe change the point of attack here on either side. Norwalk going down the right side again, sending that ball, but just a little bit too much on it and nobody there really to receive. All right, so Darien have an opportunity to clear this ball out right up the center of the field, where Bridget Mahoney doesn't quite come back for it. Again, those are the little errors that are gonna cost.
And she took that ball fast. She wasn't 5.
Yeah, but no one played her, so I'm not really sure what happened. I didn't see anyone engage her. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Whatever the case may be, it results in a penalty corner for the Norwalk Bears here.
So these are the types of things that can cause, this is potentially a goal for Norwalk. And even down there when Darien had the offensive corner, not knowing the rule where the girl can, these are the little things that both teams playing really hard can get frustrated with. Just because you're given everything you have, and then it could come down to one little thing you're doing your game.
Erica Blaze kicks it away. Far sideline, rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a good clear for her. She needs to have her defense be able to pick that ball up. Now, ball needs to be carried 5 yards again. Yeah.
Despite the cold temps here at Testa Field, a pretty decent crowd on hand for this one, as you would expect in a state tournament game of this magnitude.
Yeah, they're surprising me. There's quite a few people out there. There's Shea Vanderbroek, really with no one to go to. So it needs to be a little bit more of an adjustment. I think what's going on here is as a player goes down, I think she just got hit with a ball, and that does not feel good in this weather.
Cold.
Especially in this weather.
Yeah.
That's number 12, Adriana Alfisi.
It didn't look like it was. I mean, if it was the ball, it didn't seem very hard, but I can imagine this just with this cold weather, it probably is brutal.
And the training staff comes out to tend to Adriana. Hopefully she is okay. You never like to see this, especially in a game of this magnitude. 8:33 left, tied at 1, Darien and Norwalk. And as I mentioned earlier, Staples head coach Ian Tapsell, Fairfield Ludlow head coach Joe Scarupa, both in the booth and watching this game.
Makes me a little nervous. It doesn't seem like it was just the ball, that was she's
Yeah.
still down there. So just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore, one of the number of talented underclassmen that Coach Kyle Seberg has on this Norwalk Bears team. Certainly bodes well for the future. We mentioned the success of Darien in the state tournament. They've won 8 state titles since 2007, has head coach Mo Minikis in her program. Darien, of course, just last week beat Wilton 3-0 to win the FCAC title for the 3rd time in 5 years.
It was a fun match because you always want the girls to play their best, and even if it doesn't turn out with a positive result, as long as they go out there and have their best game of hockey, it feels good. Of course, disappointing to the girls if it doesn't end up in the result, but that the past few games, Darien has really been playing their best hockey, which has been great for them.
And of course, last year, Darien and Staples co-state champs in Class L.
Yeah, another possible another possibility this year. Yeah, it looks a little bit more than just a ball. She's limping pretty good on that leg.
And of course, we're taking a look at the Blue Wave players huddled up in front of their goal around the 20-yard line, trying to stay warm. You can see them moving their legs, hopping up and down. As we've mentioned throughout this DAF media broadcast, it is cold in Norwalk this evening.
Yeah, trying to stay warm out there is no easy feat. I mean, sometimes wearing gloves adjusts your play a little bit, so it's a preference whether or not they want to wear them, and it's bitter with any exposed area out there, your face, your hands. The umpires are going to probably go with a bully here because there was an injury, and we'll just go with 2 players.
We're about ready to resume this game.
Oh no, it looks like we're in possession. I didn't realize it during the free hit. So here is Bridget Mahoney with the ball in the center of the field. Again, you've heard that name quite a bit. She plays in the center. She really does a great job holding the center down.
One of a number of really talented midfielders on this Darien Blue Wave team.
Yeah, I would say the difference in some of the matches or some of these players, whether they're on and off, and I haven't seen Bridget touch the ball as often as she does normally in a normal game. Tessa with a great job just getting that ball. Unfortunately, it hit a foot. Umpire calling that back. But Tessa's just so fearless and so consistent and so persistent. The fan's not happy with that call.
The fan's getting a little restless here at Testa Field.
It looks like the ball girl has decided to maybe go indoors somewhere.
Can you blame her, though, on a night like this?
Not at all. Well, here's a ball after it's just under 8 minutes remaining in the second half of this FCAC quarterfinal game against Norwalk Darien. You have Bridget Mahoney taking the ball again in the backfield. You see Norwalk doing a good job. That's a great 3D ball, but there's no one there on Darien to receive. It's a good job on Shea Vanderbroek. Try to save that ball. It's good defense again on Sydney Schranker, just getting stick to stick with that ball.
We're taking a look at Lily Larchevek on the near side of the field here, number 11. She scored the equalizer earlier in this second half.
And she was so persistent, just like Molly is on that ball. She was just so persistent with that, even after the initial stop with Erica Blaze. So she did a great job.
Kiki Tropsa had the first half goal for Darien to put them on the scoreboard first. Tied at 1 here, about 7 minutes left in the game. Shea Vandenbroek near sideline, the lift.
It's taking a lot of time, and she's just sending it right into a sea of white, which is, it's just, Norwalk's just been too good for that to happen. Just not able to break through this cast of players just around. Darien's just got to do a little bit better job of working the ball around and cutting back for it. There was a foot, so that ball should be coming in. Yeah, there it is, taking that ball right away, and there's a nice pass over to Molly Hellman on the right side to see what she can do with her speed. That was a great job. It should have... Yeah, Molly did a great job creating an obstruction and getting a corner.
So a penalty corner, and it's a big one for Darien here as time is ticking away in this second half.
Yeah, I would say this is an imperative corner for both teams. 6 minutes is a lot of time, but time is starting to tick down, and I think both teams are probably feeling the pressure with a 1-1 game. Norwalk has done a fantastic job defensively, keeping Darien not able to get the goals in, and they've just really executed defensively well.
There's Tropsa, the inserter, to Mahoney up top.
Great job on Bridget. She just tried working around. Yeah, in another corner. Oh, okay. This is coming out.
Bridget Mahoney. Larchevek.
Yeah, there's a good pickup by Sally Cassidy, and a good cutback by Shea Vanderbroek, and really good patient way to get that ball. And Shea is one of the players that has such good poise when she plays the ball. She doesn't rush. You can see her patient defense right there, patient offense. She times her passes so well. There's Molly Hellman cutting back and doing a great spin move. Sydney Schranker on that right sideline. Molly trying to get an inside ball, hits a foot, so able to go ahead. And here's Shea Vanderbroek, again with the 3D ball that doesn't exactly do what is intended to do.
I know the game's getting good here. We're under 5 minutes left, but I just want to thank all of our viewers watching as there is a timeout on the field. 85 viewers watching this state tournament game on the DAF Media Network, and that is really tremendous.
We got 25 more viewers.
25 more viewers, yes, we have.
That went home and inside.
Yeah, we're up here laughing, but it's bitter cold out there. And as I mentioned, a pretty good crowd on hand for this one, as you would expect in a state tournament game. Of course, Coach Skarupa, Coach Tapsel up here in the nice warm confines of this booth. .451 left in the game. And yes, it is 1-1 Darien Norwalk. This is the third time they have met this season. Norwalk won the regular season matchup. Darien won the FCAC semifinal matchup.
I would say generally, games are, possession-wise can go from one team to the other. I think this has been pretty even possession-wise, and both teams having some great opportunities, which is exactly what you see reflective of the score. And it comes down to the very little things, the one small mistake, sometimes a lot in these matches. So just going to see who keeps up the effort here. I believe Norwalk is in possession and called that timeout.
Yes.
So that would be their last timeout for the match. And you see Tessa creating a little hole here, and this is where they're threatening, because I believe she's probably going to get that ball. They do have 5 to 6 players, so if they wanted to transfer this ball back. But I think, as you had mentioned to me, they're nervous of the speed for Darien to be able to cut that ball off. So they're just trying to get this ball right through to Tessa, because she's so crafty with her first touch.
Yeah, especially in number 1, Molly. She's very, very quick. So for their defense to stay back and defend her is probably the smartest.
Molly Hellman,
sophomore.
Just a sophomore.
Yeah.
Her and Tala Garcia, the 2 sophomores on this Darien team.
Yeah, Molly is just so quick. And again, we've talked about her being fearless. Her and Tessa remind me of each other. They're same size, a little blonde.
Yeah.
And very talented players. Norwalk with the opportunity to get the ball up, but Darien able to stop that. And just some of these passes, I think, need to connect a little bit better. You see Norwalk really packing it in here again on defense. So they have 4 players inside the circle without even marking up a Darien player. They're just really making sure they get in there and not allow any circle entry, which should have, that was a great job getting a corner call. So Darien with another offensive opportunity. Let's see if they make an adjustment here on the corner. And once again, Norwalk has been doing a fantastic job. The Bears are just really defensively creating less and less opportunity for Darien. Less than 4 minutes remaining. It's a good insert.
Here's Mahoney over to Tropsa, and that is wide of the near post. Another great look by Kiki Tropsa. She has had so many looks this postseason.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great ball. If someone was there on that post.
Yeah, that post is important.
That post is that's a great job by Molly Hellman. She's so crafty. Again, getting and hits a player, and if someone can just take that ball right away.
So under 3 minutes left now in this game.
Sydney Schrenker taking this ball. She does have Bridget Mahoney in the center of the field. That's a great ball right there. Now that ball can't be into 2 players, which it was not. It was into space. Molly again with a great stick and great save by the goalkeeper.
Great save by Jess Montero. That was almost a bang play.
Yep.
Sydney Schrenker right on the doorstep almost puts it in.
Jess did a fantastic job timing that properly and really getting that ball out. There's just a little scramble on the defense.
So another penalty corner opportunity for the Blue Wave. Kiki Tropsit will insert as we are at the 2:15 mark.
It's a good insert. It's a great shot. And just wide again of the cage. It'll be a 16-yard hit coming out.
Just wide of the far post. Tropsa there again.
Yeah. These last couple minutes, Darien has really been dominating on their side, creating a lot of corners.
I don't think anyone wants to go into a 10-minute overtime.
I think it's too cold.
Just under 2 minutes remaining. It is a 1-1 ball game. This game has been fairly even with possessions on both teams. Darien now with a side in on the left side of the field. Just about 90 seconds remaining. Another aerial ball, which was just successful coming in, able to gain possession again and see if they can just get circle entry and possibly another corner, even a shot on goal would be key here. And wide again of the cage.
Wide of that far post.
I bet you would have had a few goals in this game already.
I would have hoped.
On either side, you would have been on the post.
I would have hoped.
All right. Now, Norwalk's going to have an opportunity here to bring this ball in. There's just 60 seconds remaining. Darien defense has just got to be so smart and, not give anything up. Norwalk is going to push and apply pressure, I would imagine, as they do. That first touch was a little bit off the stick. Molly, good job getting that ball.
Molly Hellman, the interception there. Nice
and
play
again,
out of her.
There she goes, another ball. Molly's just, again, so crafty. If she can circle entry would be the key here, and possibly getting a shot on goal or even a corner with the last few minutes, a few seconds remaining. It's a good job on...
Shea Vandenbroek into the corner, or into the circle. "20 seconds left in this game, tied at 1.
Norwalk getting the ball out. There's just 15 seconds remaining. Darien with the ball. Ballcar's got to have that ball right there for them to get the opportunity. But Norwalk's coming out just under 8 seconds remaining. So it looks like we're going to have an overtime.
So we are going to go into overtime of this Class L state quarterfinal game between Darien and Norwalk on a frigid, cold night here at Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School.
I have to say, both teams are doing really well communicating, too. Sometimes with the wind, it's hard to hear.
So hard to hear.
Especially across the field. So switching fields could be even more complicated.
Yeah.
We're going to bring Coach Ian Tapsell in for a few words. Amanda Otero, if you can just give Coach your headset there. Coach Tapsell, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
All right. Nice win today over Cheshire. 2-1 the final. Moving on to the state semifinals for the second straight season. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It's great to be back here and back in the semis. The girls played very well today. It was pretty adverse conditions up there, very cold. Not as cold as it is here. I think we're pushing the high 30s as opposed to low 30s here. But we managed to eke out a win. Cheshire, a very, very physical, hard team to play against.
Yeah. And a program that's been around for a while up north. They do a nice job in years past. Obviously, you heard us talking on the broadcast a little earlier in the second half, the FCAC. I mean, geez, there's going to be at least 3 teams in the state Final Four of Class L. What does that say about the conference?
It says volumes for the standard of play we have down here. I think we have a really good feeder system in all the towns that we have around here, which certainly helps out. And also we got access to, or the girls have access to some really good club teams as well.
This is a real hard question for you here. So you know what a competitive player Kari Johns is. You know what a terrific coach she is. Did you know she was a pretty good broadcaster as well?
I haven't had any evidence of that so far. I know she's a good singer. That's all I know.
She is a good singer. She is a very good singer. What have you seen, especially, I know you came up to the booth here in the second half. What have you seen out of these two teams? Obviously a very competitive game. Darien gets up a goal in the first half, carry that into halftime, and then on basically, as I said, a fast break goal,
right.
Norwalk strikes fairly early in the second half to tie it at 1.
Well, I think the way Norwalk plays at home is that they do pack it in defence, and they hope for a lucky break, and I think they got a decent break this time, and it obviously worked out. I think what Darien got away from doing is playing the ball laterally and waiting for a seam or to create a gap for the players to run through. Obviously, it's very cold out there, and it's affected players that I had up in Cheshire. I had to substitute a lot. But I think if they kept to their game plan, especially using the wings, the flanks, coming in around the back as opposed to straight through into the middle of the circle, I think they'd had more success. So if that happens in the, especially with the space they're going to have in the overtime here, I think you could see some results for Darien right now. But again, overtime's all about keeping possession. So if they keep possession and find a gap, then I think they'll be okay.
Let me talk to you briefly about your next opponent, an opponent that you know well, obviously another FCAC team, Greenwich. You get them in the state semis. What impresses you about the Cardinals? Obviously the #1 seed heading into the conference tournament this year.
Well, they've managed to find some really good non-hockey players in terms of ice hockey players who play up front. They've got a lot of speed up front. They've got established players who play in the centre and midfield and the player at the back, who I've seen play before, who are very good. But the key to their success, I think, is their quick breaks, especially down the left side and through the middle, where defences are vulnerable against that quick counter-attack. If you can spot that and close it up, then I think everybody's got a chance. As I say, the top 5 teams in the FCAC, anybody could win the state championships. So it's just a question of a lucky bounce and getting the right tactics, I think.
Real quickly, if you're head coach Mo Minikis, what did you tell her? What did you tell your players in the huddle just now? And if you're head coach Kyle Seberg of Norwalk, what did you tell your players?
Well, I think in overtime it's a question of possession. You've got to hold the ball and not panic. And if you panic and you give the ball up in overtime, then you're likely to go a goal down. I mean, it's very important to keep the ball, hold it and find a gap. And I would especially like to see either team who've got their speedsters up front to be given the ball. If they can be given the ball early, then I think then that team will probably win.
Coach Tapsell, best of luck in the state tournament the rest of the way. Thanks for hopping on for a few moments.
Thanks
tonight. Stay warm.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me warm. Appreciate it.
We're going to have Amanda Otero hop right back on here, our broadcast. Damian Andrew, Kari Johns, Amanda Otero. We're about to start the first overtime here at Testa Field between Darien and Norwalk. Tied at 1. First goal wins.
First goal wins. It's such a nail biter. Overtimes are just so tough. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So a sudden death format here. Under 10 minutes left. We're just underway in this first OT between Darien and Norwalk.
And as Coach Tapsell mentioned, possession is the name of the game. You have to maintain possession of this ball. There is so much space on the field. You're limited. You've got 6 offensive players on the field, 1 goalie. So instead of 10 offensive players and a goalkeeper, you only have 6. That's a great job.
There's Tropsa.
Yep, she did a great job getting that ball off. And unfortunately, it hit a foot. So Norwalk having a game ball out. Now you think you want to take this ball fast, but it can be such a tough match to maintain possession. So you really just want to slow it down. You can't score unless you have possession of the ball. You want to find the spaces on the field and just connect with your teammates. Again, that ball didn't do as it was intended. You've got Bridget Mahoney who finds Katie Elders. She pulls right here. That's right. That's a great ball to Molly Hellman. And I think what you can see here is it's a great ball down to Molly.
There's
again.
Hellman.
Yep, she tucks it up. That's a great job by the goalkeeper to anticipate that.
Jessica Montero, the junior goalie for Norwalk, with the nice clear.
Now you see, that worried me a little bit. You see, Darien, we were attacking offensive, but didn't get back quite as fast as they probably should have on defense. Thank goodness Norwalk didn't take advantage of that. It was a great hit and a great stop by Bridget Mahoney. She was able to keep that ball in bounds, and she has such great stick work. You see a quick pull back, and she gets that ball through. Molly Hellman cutting that ball off and stepping to and doing a good job once again. She goes in and she goes ahead and finds Bridget, who's going to try to get this ball in. A great shot.
Elders, the shot is good, and that will do it as Darien wins in overtime in dramatic fashion. Katie Elders with the shot. Kari Johns is going to go down onto the field. And Darien with a big win here in the state quarterfinals. They are moving on to the state semifinals where they will play either Enfield, the top seed, or Fairfield Ludlow in the state semis. So about 2 minutes into the first overtime, Katie Elders unleashes a great shot. Amanda Otero, your thoughts?
Norwalk was really playing a defensive game right there. They had a few opportunities, and like Kari said, you really have to keep possession of that ball. And they were really just trying to keep it out of that circle. But the speed in Darien is definitely played a factor, and I think they had that uphill advantage with that.
Coach Tapsell, you've rejoined us. You talked about possession. Well, Darien didn't have to possess the ball too long. They strike right away.
Yeah, I think what happened there, as you could see, was there was an overload on a couple of occasions by Darien there when they came in 3-on-1. They had an opportunity just before that. Goalie made a good save, but if you can create 2v1s in these situations, especially with all this space, then you're eventually going to end up with something. And Darien obviously put the ball away really nicely there at the end. And
so Darien wins 2-1, dramatic fashion in the extra session. We're going to hopefully hear from head coach Mo Minikis, our very own Brendan Ross, heading down onto the field. But Kiki Tropsa, the first half goal. Norwalk ties it up in the second half on a Lily Larchevic goal. Did I pronounce that right,
yeah.
Amanda? And then in overtime, Katie Elders, such a terrific offensive player, and she gets it into the back of the cage on a great shot. What was that, from about, I would say, 10 yards out?
Yeah, edge of the circle, maybe 12 yards, 10 yards out. But it was a really nice, Katie's good at putting in some really hard flicks. She's got a nice wrist shot, and it was very effective there, obviously.
Amanda, let me get your final thoughts on this one. I know that obviously being a Norwalk alum, a little bit of disappointment, I'm sure, but what a great effort by the Bears here at home against the perennial powers from Darien. Competitive game. They played well. Yeah. And they make a nice little run in the state tournament here.
Yeah, I think they played really well, and I think it's good for the girls, and I think they have to, say to themselves, in the last week or so, they've made some big adjustments, and to hang with Darien in overtime, I know the loss could be upsetting, but they played much better than they did in that FCAC game when they saw them last, and good luck to Darien going forward.
Yeah, it was a totally different Norwalk team here in the state quarterfinals than it was in the FCAC tournament, where they were shut out 4-0 by Darien. But a happy group of Blue Wave players over there on the sideline, as you can see from your view. Coach Tapsell, That's field hockey, man. That was a great ending to a really competitive game.
Yeah, and as I said, these FCAC teams are there's not really much between any of them, and it's the luck of the ball or getting some good calls that will separate the teams. I think Norwalk have always been really hard on their home turf, and for Darien to come out with a win tonight is a really good feeling for them, I'm sure.
You know, we talk about seedings, and when you look at the seedings, I mean, obviously what happens in the regular season goes a long way into what you're seeded in the States, but when you look at Darien as a 5 seed, probably not a 5 seed.
No, I'd agree with you entirely, but the issue with rankings is that if you play out of your conference, and Darien have got a tough schedule whereby they play some teams in New York State.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for their program, but it's going to affect them in terms of their rankings if they don't do well. It doesn't really matter in the States. I think the best teams will always come to the top in the States. So I mean, if you're going to win the thing, you might as well beat the best teams anyway.
Amanda, I said final thoughts. I'm going to get a couple more thoughts from you. How big of a momentum boost? I mean, obviously they're disappointed right now, Norwalk, but the way they've played this season, you know, had a terrific regular season. Made it to the FCAC semifinals, and then they make it to the quarters of the state. How much can they take and build from this season? I mean, and a lot of young players too on their team.
Yeah, I think they have a lot to build from. They're losing 6 seniors who I think are key players, definitely. And they're definitely losing the twins, Jackie and Francis Mirabile, who play a big part in this game. But they have a lot of girls who have really improved and are continuing to improve. And I think that going forward, they just need to capitalize on their strengths and use games like this to learn from the talent that Darien has.
And we are heading down onto the field where Brendan Ross is standing by with a very happy but very cold Mo Minikis. Brendan.
Coach, congrats on the win first off. Your team came out to a great first 1-0 lead. Then Norwalk came back, struck back with a 1-1 goal. How important is this win tonight? Coming in, chilly night, as everybody could feel. How is this win so important?
It's huge because, you know, playing another FCAC team in the quarterfinals is almost like playing a state championship, and it's heartbreaking for whichever team doesn't come out on top because, you know, it's just such great competition. We knew it would be a great game. I thought we played really well in the first half. I thought we got a little tentative in the second half. Our passes weren't as crisp, and they were reading them. They had a beautiful breakaway. I mean, my goalie did everything she could to save that, and that girl just got a nice rebound. And going into overtime, we were just confident. You know, we're speedy, and, you know, Katie's shot was just so poised. She just kind of, I don't know what she did, but she didn't even rip it. She just kind of really hard push from the top. It was beautiful.
You play the winner of Fairfield Ludlow versus number 1 ranked Enfield. How can you prepare for that game going into next week?
I think I study sort of our game today to see sort of what we did well, what we didn't do well, and get information on the winner.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Damien, huge win for the girls under the lights tonight. Chilly night, as you said, 2-1 victory over Norwalk. The girls are going back to the Final Four. Damien.
Great job, Brendan, and thanks for that interview with Mo Minikis. She's happy, Coach Tapsell. Like you said, obviously, anytime you can get into the state Final Four, that's a big deal.
Yes, it is, and they obviously are going to prepare for the game against whoever it is, either Ludlow or Enfield. And she'll obviously come out and give it a good go. We've got to play against Greenwich in the next round too, so I don't know, I'm not tempting Providence, but it would be nice to have another go at Darien in the final, like we tried to last year.
No doubt about it. I just want to give a shout out to our production crew, our director and sideline reporter, Brendan Ross, Camilla Sucre, our camera operator, Jack Roberson, did a great job on this production. For Kari Johns, Amanda Otero, and Ian Tapsell, thank him for joining us. I am Damian Andrew, and this has been a production of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Stay warm, everybody, and have a great night.